Tracking Better Footy is a program for teens wanting to improve their performance at football. If we go through the specifics of the program, it's divided into two parts. We start with tracking stress and trigger feelings. In part 2, we'll look at tracking our best performance mode so we can learn to dial it up just when we need it. So let's think about the different ways we freak out, whether it's before the game, getting nervous, or during the game, losing it. If we want to track stress, we need to understand some basics of how it works. We think differently at different levels of stress. There's good stress where we're under the pump, but can keep our focus and head together. Then there's high levels of stress where we start to crack up. Sometimes we can go the other way and shut down, feeling scattered and not being able to get it together. We teach players about the 3 different brains embedded in our brain. Lizard brain, that speaks the language of impulse reactions, body posture and fear. Dog brain, that speaks the language of the pack, pecking order, closeness and bonding, all through behaviour and body language. And finally, our human brain, that has reason, a point of view and can talk. The reason we do this is that when we're stressed and full of adrenaline, our human brain switches off and we believe all our irrational, stinking thinking. This is a picture that explains all you need to know about stress, and we use it to teach players to identify where they are at any given time. Players can check out their particular style of stinking thinking when they get stressed. So they can recognize it, a clue that they have cracked up, and a trigger for calming down to get their head together. When their head's together, their human brain is back online and can be used to fly above and challenge their stinking thinking by looking at the big picture. Feelings can have a powerful influence on our thinking and behaviour both ways. If we want to harness this power, well, we need to track them as they take hold of us. There are some common feelings that can act as crack-up triggers, and becoming familiar with our particular ones is important. I call them the usual suspects. In all youth, it's important to be able to track feelings by recognising and naming them. When players are upset, it can be hard to name, but it's always easy to point, and visual cues help this. Kids affected by FASD benefit from this visual assistance. We also explore how different feelings make our body feel as a further way to track and master them. This can also help recognise when big feelings are interfering with our play. Just as feelings can trigger us to crack up or zone out, so can situations, and we explore likely triggering situations in games so we can see them coming and be ready for them. All these self-regulation skills are needed if we want to do the best for our team, but they also build resilience and can be used in life. The great thing about sport is that we're learning about stress and feelings on the run, literally, which gives players, coaches and families a great opportunity to track their bodies in different states. The real deal, not just theory. Okay, so let's think about your best game, where you were under the pump but held it together and came through. Let's track it from every angle. So when you were managing stress well and had your head together, what were your body clues? Thinking clues? How were you able to talk and communicate? And what feelings were running through you? We want to know this state in detail so we can recognize when we're in it or can dial it up when we need it. Okay, time to think about that nightmare quarter where you are under pressure and folded, either overcooked it or fell off your game. So let's do the overcooked version where you cracked up. Then we can do the scattered version where you lost it and were out of touch or behind the play. Now, for a full-on lose it, it can take up to 20 minutes to regroup. That's losing a whole quarter. But if we pick up a crack early, we can reverse it much quicker. So let's really think about early, middle and late signs that tell you you're losing it. It's often easy to start with the late crack-up signs and work back to early signs. Again, think about it as how does our body and thinking change? What happens to our speech and how do we start to feel? Great. Now we can track ourselves in lots of different states. We move to calming down. Rule number 1 about calming down is we have to feel safe. In life, that means finding a safe space. In the game, it means trusting our teammates to help us. And that means that as a team culture, we have to trust. No sledging or put-downs. Rather, a commitment from everyone to play our best. Only constructive criticism to help teammates to get back into the game, with everyone feeling accepted and supported. Okay, so how do we calm down? And again, it's those 3 steps. Track, sort, and do. What we need to track is, have I crossed my adrenaline line? So I'm breathing shallow and fast, because that is like throwing petrol on the panic fire. Have I cracked up or zoned out? What I need to sort is getting my head together. So calm the body to calm the mind, because what I'm thinking is pure panic, and I believe it all. Slowing the breathing and working with the body to feel calmer is important. Everyone's different, so we need to figure out what our body needs to calm. Catch it early, otherwise we need a good 20 minutes to calm down. Finally, when we've got our head back together and we feel safe, we can use our eagle eye to challenge our panic thinking and deal with triggers and overwhelming feelings.